Good afternoon and welcome to the official press conference following the ECOFIN Council. On stage we have the Danish Minister for Economic Affairs, Stephanie Lose, and the Commissioner for Economy and Productivity, Valdis Dombrovskis. As always, we will start by brief statements from the Minister and the Commissioner, and then we will open the floor for questions. Minister, the floor is yours.
Thanks a lot, and welcome everyone, and also thanks to my colleagues at the ECOFIN for a good meeting and some productive discussions today. First of all, we continued a discussion on new EU support to Ukraine and exchanged views on options for support, including the Commission's proposal on the reparations loan based on the immobilized Russian assets. My takeaways is that the Commission's proposal is the best and most realistic option and should be treated as a matter of highest priority, and will continue working closely with all the member states to explore the best way forward from here. It remains clear that continued EU leadership and unity is essential in supporting Ukraine's fight against Russian aggression, and will remain fully engaged to facilitate a decision at the European Council meeting in December. We also had an important discussion on the revision of the energy taxation directive. As Presidency, we worked very hard to put forward a proposal which balanced the need for harmonizing energy taxation and incentivizing the green transition while preserving European competitiveness. The proposal aims to modernize the system so that taxation reflects both energy content and environmental impact, ensuring a fair, consistent and future-proof framework across the European Union. Today I heard that there was a broad recognition of the need for a reform of a directive that hasn't been changed for more than 20 years, and there was a majority agreeing that we've indeed tried to reach a balance towards a different consideration. But nonetheless, there seems to be no path to unanimity at this point in time. Some countries have been reluctant to revise the directive, with particular concerns about impacts on consumers and competitiveness. On the other hand, some countries feel that the proposal has already moved too far away from the objective of supporting our green transition and climate objectives. So today I therefore had to conclude that we unfortunately do not see the necessary political will to continue the work towards a compromise which can be unanimously supported. I am, on the other hand, pleased to confirm that we reached a political agreement on the elimination of the current €150 customs duty relief threshold. The removal of this duty-free threshold means that custom duties will be payable from the first euro on all goods entering the EU, just like value-added tax. This reform primarily concerns the large volume of low-cost goods imported from third countries, in particular from Asia and China. Ending the exemption will close long-standing loopholes that's been systematically exploited to avoid custom duties, for example, to the undervaluation of goods or the splitting of consignments to stay below the previous threshold. This change will also create a fair and more level playing field between European businesses that pay duty on all imports and non-EU companies that sell low-value goods directly to European consumers without paying customs. The agreement also represents a major step towards modernizing the EU's customs system. It will help to tackle the massive inflow of low-value goods, reduce opportunities for fraud and strengthen the integrity and transparency of trade within the EU's internal market. This agreement demonstrates that the EU can deliver on reforms that make the system simpler, fair and more resilient, so the Danish Presidency is happy to have reached a political agreement on this very important issue. Today's meeting also shows that there is a broad political support to explore options to tackle the issue arising from the rapid rise in e-commerce earlier than 2028. European businesses feel the very real impact of the unfair competition from cheaply made Chinese products who do not pay customs. When we see small businesses being out-competed on unfair terms, we have a responsibility to act quickly to ensure a fair system. We'll work with the Member States and the Commission to develop a simple, temporary solution to enable implementation as soon as possible in 2026. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Commissioner, please.
Yes, thank you, Minister. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me begin with some positive news. Today the EU is disbursing additional 4.1 billion euros in financial support to Ukraine under the G7-led Extraordinary Revenue Acceleration Loans Initiative. This marks the final installment of the EU's 18.1 billion euros contribution to this initiative. The success of ERA Loans Initiative shows that Europe can act swiftly, decisively and effectively when necessary. And this is in this spirit as we must also approach the question related to further funding needs for Ukraine. And actually we began today's meeting with a productive discussion on options for providing additional financial support for Ukraine as requested by European Council. And as Minister already mentioned, the meeting saw broad support from Member States for the Commission to continue its work on the reparation loan. There was wide recognition that this option is the most feasible means of quickly bridging Ukraine's funding gap without placing additional substantial fiscal burden on Member States. The continuation of this work obviously includes engaging with Member States to address remaining concerns. We also discussed possible alternative options. It has to be noted that given the sustainability concerns and challenges Ukraine is facing, the support has to have strong grant-like features. So alternative option would be for the EU to fund the reparation loan to Ukraine through borrowing instead of using the cash balances associated with immobilized Russian assets. However, Member States would have to cover the interest cost of the loan until it's repaid to maintain grant-like support for Ukraine. And there are different modifications how exactly this borrowing can be structured. Yet another option would be to provide a similar level of support to Ukraine, but in form of grants, which would entail a large direct cost to Member States over the short period of time. So, as regards the options paper, we should be able to present the options paper shortly, and today's discussion will help inform Commission's thinking in this regard. Then it's important in parallel to engage with our allies and like-minded partners to provide Ukraine with liquidity already in the first quarter of next year, as Ukraine's financing needs are not only large but also urgent. We are under time pressure and must move forward in a constructive, pragmatic and cooperative way. Then, as on other topics, as the Minister just mentioned, today we reached a significant political agreement to move forward with the elimination of customs duty relief threshold for goods up to the value of 150 euros entering the EU. And specifically, we agreed to find a workable solution to be implemented as soon as possible already next year. This responds to dramatically increasing volume of goods sold online and directly shipped to the customers in the EU from the third countries, notably China. In 2024 alone, 4.6 billion such items were imported, with 91% coming from China. Charging customs duties on such consignments is an important step towards ensuring a level playing field for European businesses and further strengthening our customs union. Moving to Recovery and Resilience Facility, the Commission provided its regular update. The clock is ticking. Member States should now act swiftly to simplify the plans, remove measures that cannot be fulfilled by the deadlines, and focus on implementation. I therefore welcome today's endorsement of targeted amendments to the recovery and resilience plans of Belgium, Estonia, Luxembourg, Croatia, Slovakia and Romania. Then European Fiscal Board presented today's meeting with its insightful annual report. The report analyzes our collective effort to ensure a smooth transition to the new economic governance framework. And overall, while there are some lessons to be learned, rollout has been effective, and focus should now turn on delivering the agreed fiscal path. And on fiscal path, the Commission will present its assessment on 25th of November as part of European semester autumn package. Then I presented today's meeting with the European Commission's overview report on simplification, implementation and enforcement. Since the beginning of the year, the European Commission has presented 6 simplification omnibus proposals, including on agriculture, defence, due diligence, sustainability reporting and others. A conservative estimate puts annual savings stemming from these simplification proposals at more than 8.6 billion euros, and more proposals will follow in coming weeks. So we have made a strong start, but we must work at least as intensively to reach our overall 25% administrative burden reduction target and 35% burden reduction target for SMEs. Finally, a few words on 2025 statistical package, which ministers adopted today. The package sets out how the European statistical system is taking action toward improving the quality and availability of the European economic indicators, collecting data on defence expenditure in a timely manner in context of the national escape clauses, reducing administrative burdens for businesses and public administrations. These efforts underline Europe's commitment to high-quality, independent official statistics, which remain as vital as ever for informed decision-making. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. We will now open the floor for questions. Please start by stating your name and your media. We will start by Euronews, please.